I'm live. Hey, everybody. It's Thursday. Welcome to the end of the world. Ben's Brick Designs. Thanks for being here. I took Sunday off because we had virtual happy hours all week. All week set up with the virtual happy hours. So, it's Thursday. Yep. Bethany Brazel has joined us. Thank you, Bethany. Let's see who's in the chat. Open the browser. So, nothing new's going on. We're just social isolating, and we're making sure we flatten the curve, and we're making sure that we stay inside as much as possible. We're ordering groceries. We're working from home. If we have to go out, we're washing our hands a lot. We stay away from everybody we can. I'm handling it a little better than Beth is because I actually like being inside and playing video games and doing Lego and whatnot. But I think the isolation and just the thought of it all. I mean, we're in the middle of a global pandemic right now. It's just a weird thing to think about. It's like imagining what it would be like if you were in the middle of this Spanish flu at the turn of the last century, or the plague or something like that. It's one of those historical events that you just don't think you'll ever be a part of, and yet here we are. We're in the middle of it. It's just kind of weird, right? So I'm doing the only thing I really know how to do, which is play video games, design Lego, build Lego, make lists of Lego, do some doodles. If you want to check them out, they're on Instagram. Drink beer, hang out with my friends online, that kind of stuff. So we're doing good. I haven't really built a whole lot of stuff, but I have done some things since the last stream. I wanted to show you. This is an official Lego set. This is a little Microfighter called an ATDP. It's an all-terrain defense platform. I don't like it. This is one of my least favorites. These big things on the side aren't really supposed to be that big. I don't know where the yellow color came from. These things were just solid gray in the show. These are from Rebels. The pilot's really cool. I really like the pilot. That's a cool looking minifigure. But overall, I just do not like this build. It is literally one of my least favorites. It's got a good print on the back there. Good helmet print. Right? It's some good stuff. It's not too bad. But yeah, I'm also not a big fan of stud shooters. So there's that stud shooter in the front. Don't like those. But the legs should be longer, and it should be a little more. It should look a little more rickety. I get why they did it though. These were launched when Rebels was new. So there you have it. So on the show too, they adapted one of these things into a. Ooh, did I put a silver one on the back? Maybe I should change that. Into what's called an ADDP arc cannon prototype. Now, there's a moment in the show where this thing turns out a massive amount of energy that's tuned to Beskar armor. It's tuned to Mandalorian Beskar ore or whatever, Mandalorian armor. And so it basically fries everybody who's a Mandalorian, but leaves the Imperial troops alone. So that's what this is. I need to get a couple of replacement parts to replace that yellow. I don't like that dark trans blue in there. I wanted some light trans blue. But other than that, I think it turned out pretty well. And it's the same model. It's just adapted. So you can kind of see the difference in, I took care of those giant things on the side here and a little more subdued versions. Because they're there. Don't get me wrong. They're there, but it's just not as crazy. I'm also excited that I got, I don't know if I showed you this one. This was the Bongo, the Gungan sub. I may have already showed you this one. On under the water. So that's the Gungan city that its stand is sitting on. I thought that turned out pretty well. I also did Ray's speeder on, I think I did show you this one on, that is Nima Outpost on Jakku. And then I did Kachiro Beach on Kashyyyk. And this is an AD. I can't remember what this one is. PT. Or it's a. Man, I can't even think right now. Anyway, there's a full gray one, and then there's the alternate one that's like a green color that has Commander Green in it. So I think I did show you these. And then I did Sand Speeder. That's just on some dunes, some desert scape. This is an actual Lego set, but it was it was based off these toys that came out, and I think I talked about this before. It's based off these toys that came out a long time, or that were going to come out a long time ago. And it was sort of when Star Wars was kind of over. It was like 1984, 85, and there was no new movies coming out. There were no new movies coming out. But they wanted to strike while the iron was hot. And so they decided to do some toys based off some stories that hadn't happened yet. And so it was like the saga continues or the saga advances or some weird phrase. But they had this, and they had what was called an ATIC, which was an all-terrain ion cannon, which was basically a kit-bashed AT-AT with a giant gun on the back of it, and it was tan, right? It was a weird orange color. So these two were slated to come out. They never did. Hello, everybody who's joined on Facebook. Omar, Stefan, Wendy. It's good to see you guys. Anyway, this was another one that I did. And this one I was excited about, but it's not necessarily mine. I just adapted it to be a Microfighter. This was just a build that somebody had done. An ATTE, all-terrain, I don't even know what TE stands for. Tactical Enforcer or something like that. Anyway, it's the main walker from the Clone Wars. And originally the set was just, or the build was just minus the guy sitting on it. I would like the guy to sit a little lower, but the internal bits are all kind of 3 wide. I don't know if you can tell from there. So it makes it hard for him to sit on anything. But it was a really cool build. It's kind of fragile. So I don't want to mess with it too much. I don't think I got it exactly right, but I did the best I could based off of like just photos that I saw. It turned out really cool. I like the way it looks. And I think sitting with a bunch of other Microfighters, I think it'll look really great. I don't know what stand I'm going to put it on, but you know, we'll have to see where that goes. I don't have anything new. I'm in the middle of sorting everything right now, and I haven't ordered anything. I've got a set that I haven't built, but it's just this little bitty Aquaman set. I don't think it's worthy of an entire stream of putting stuff together, but I don't know, maybe. I'm trying to figure out how to order some more parts for some more micros, and then I also have this big construction set that I want to build. It's a modular set, but it's supposed to look like a construction zone, so like a house is being built up or torn down or something. But it requires a lot of parts that I don't have. So that's going to be an order that I need to put in. So hopefully I'll be able to get a couple sets ordered and have some stuff to build. In the meantime, we're going to design some stuff tonight. And I'm keeping it Texas with a shiner. I've got a Ruby Redbird, which is one of my favorites, and then a Black Lager. This is from the, it's like the brewer's case or something like that. It's a case of mixed and matched beverages. So here's to staying inside and doing whatever you want to do. I hope your Thursday is doing well. If anybody knows of a live concert that's streaming right now, let me know, and I'll put it on instead of the pretzel score here. So, all right, let's get to it. So this is the set we're doing tonight, not that. This is the Stinger Mantis from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's a fantastic game. It is a very unique ship. It's very cool looking, but I think it has entirely too many moving parts. It's got a weird landing gear. Am I going to make micros for all those new Rise of Skywalker ships? Well, let's see. I've already done a design for a TIE dagger. Shout out EC Henry TIE Vector. I've already done one of those. I've got a design. Wow, that was really loud. I've got a design for a Snap Wesley's A-Wing, which is basically just another Resistance A-Wing, but colored green. The X-Wings are no different. They're just color variations on the original one that we saw in Force Awakens. So the gray and blue ones from Force Awakens are still gray and blue. Poe's original black and orange is like an unofficial design. And now there's a white and orange one, and I've already redone. I haven't really posted these because they're just recolors of everything. And honestly, I don't know if I want to do those Zeiston Star Destroyers because they're just Star Destroyers with a big F-off gun underneath them. Now, I know the in-universe of it is there's the talk of they just sized them up, basically. So everything's sized up. The windows are sized up. The shield spheres are sized up. The bridges are sized up. They're just bigger. And they have these just giant guns on the bottom. So maybe, I mean, I've added it to my list. The 4 Mon Cal variants. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Eckhart's Ladder talk about that, how they just kind of randomly had them in there. I do have a few, and I don't have my list on me. Jiminy Christmas, that's loud. I need to mute. I'm afraid to mute this because it's, there we go. Oh, and I'm frozen. Neat. So,
saw Eckhart's Ladder talk about
what's up, Day Boost? How you doing? Over on YouTube. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. Where was I? It was the the Mon Cal ships, I'm going to say, are a little weird because I've made one and I don't like it. But then I saw another person, Chris something or other, he's done a lot of, and way back, has done a lot of like really small designs of ships. And this was back on like the Lugnet days. He had it posted on like Purion or something. He had a bunch of them. And so a couple I've taken and adapted to make them into Microfighters. But I like the way, because I was trying to use like curved wedges and stuff. And he was just doing this nice sort of layered plate look. But every plate was like a white or a tan or something like that. And I was trying to use grays and tans. And it just, mine looked really crappy and his looked very elegant. So I'm kind of rethinking a couple of those because those Mon Cal ships, I've got there's like 4 or 5 of them that you could do. There's like the MC-75, the MC-80s, the MC-90s. There's one that I just looked up, I forget what it was called, something Star Cruiser. Anyway, the Mon Ramonda is one that like Han Solo, General Solo flew in like a Legends thing. So that's, I mean, I've got them all in my list. There's actually kind of a new ship, too, that I just saw in Clone Wars Season 7. The Trace's ship. Trace and, oh, now I forgot her name. Her sister, Trace's sister. They have the Silver Angel, which is just looks like a kind of a Corellian freighter kind of thing. Very, long, and it's kind of boring for a hero ship, but I don't expect it to be in many episodes, so we'll see. Anyway, so we're going to work on the Stinger Mantis. Again, this is a ship you saw in Jedi Fallen Order. It's a cool looking ship, and I liked for a hero ship for the video game, it was pretty good. It was recognizable. It had a good function. It had a good kind of interior layout. It has a lot of moving parts that I think are kind of unnecessary, but I'm not the one who designed it. It has like a lot of ridiculously complicated landing gear. I don't know. It's just the sum of it. So here's the other problem I'm going to have with this, which is why I've left it as just this basic white minifigure, is this is technically piloted by Grease in the game, but the main character is Cal Kestis. So do you put Cal Kestis in it, or do you put the pilot in it? Do you put grease in it? So it's like, which one do you pick? So anyway, I'm going to build the ship, and then I'll figure that out later, because either way, or do you put Siri in it? You know, it's like, either way, you got to get a custom figure for it. So it's a long ship, but it's got a rotating thing in here, and the problem that I've had with rotating things in the past is that they've been these rotating wings. The T6 shuttles like that, the Mandalorian fighters are like that, where you've got a fuselage and then these wings that rotate over the top, where the cockpit is. Well, if you got this big old F-off minifigure sitting there, you can't really rotate anything, so you gotta shorten those wings back and have the cockpit kind of sitting out. And it doesn't look great, it doesn't look like the build, but this luckily doesn't have that, because I'll probably sit him, and if you can tell, I'm trying not to look at these Lego ships. Here's a pretty good shot of it. This is in its Naboo coloring. It says Gold Squadron, but that's like super Naboo coloring. I'll probably put him, the pilot, right here, and then still be able to have this rotated. You can see how it goes back and forth, how it's fully extended, but then when it lands, this little part bends up. I don't know. It just seems like really weird. What's up, Josh, over in YouTube? Thanks for coming by, man. Hope things are going well for you. Oh, and this music is not the best ever. Again, I'm going to repeat that if anybody knows of any live concerts on Twitter or YouTube or anything that are going on right now, I will totally give it a listen in the background. It's going to be a lot better than some of the choices I've got here. So, since that has to rotate back there, let's work on that to begin. Going to make sure that you can all see everything and everything's good. All right. So I'm going to start with just a long, probably 6. We can infer. Also, I need to figure out how to change the dock. Let's do that real quick. I want to change the dock to go over here. View, palette, orientation, hide side panel. I don't want to hide side panel. Yeah, there's a way that, because I installed it on another machine, and like the very first thing. Hello, Bethany, how are you doing? Thanks for coming by on Facebook. Expand building palette. What does that do? Nope. I want the building palette to be on this side, and I don't know how to do that. If you know how to do that, let me know in the comments. I'm just going to kind of roll with this. I'll figure it out later. Like all the other things I was supposed to be figuring out later, like nice overlays for my channel and stuff. So, just building a new pirate Lego set. Loving it! Aw, man. You got that, did you? Hey, did you all see the new 501st battle pack that we got? It's not a battle pack. I'm happy that it's 501st Troopers. Not happy that it's a giant ATRT again. Those ATRTs, they cannot, I wish they would design them at a better size. They're not supposed to be that big. They just keep making them these huge walkers, and they're supposed to be like these little motorcycle walkers, and they just make them these giant things. Anyway, everybody and their brother is glad that they got an ATR, or they got a 501st battle pack-ish kind of thing, and they can start buying up those guys and making all kinds of squads and pin. So I'm going to do this just to start, even though this isn't going to be how it's going to work. Because here's the thing, this is going to be another one of those where it has a pole in the middle of it, right? And the wing moves, but these two bits don't. So I wish there was a piece that did that, where it was like a pin like this, so you could have friction, but it went clear across, and then, of course, how would you connect it to anything, right? Um, the way you could do it, and it's a bit of a cheat, is you could do two things. Actually, let's try this. This was on the Scout, or the ATST Raider on the legs. So they did this thing, and I don't know how well this is going to work, but we're going to try it. That was expensive. 4 cents. Wow. And then bar. Oh no, wait. Go back. See, I know that can go in farther because it did in the... Yeah. And you can take this, copy, paste, right? And then you've got something that you can kind of rotate around, but this is still going to spin, so I don't really know how to do that. Well, to be honest, I'm not going to make it stick up very high. It's still going to be a Microfighter, so I probably am only going to make it stick up maybe twice the height of the minifigure. It's not going to be that big. It's just to kind of give an indication of how big it is. But it's not, I mean, like X-Wing, you know, a lot of the stuff, the Microfighter size is not, it's chibi size. It's, you know, it's super deformed. It's cute. It's smashed up. It's not elegant anymore. Yeah, I know there's a way to do this. And I don't think that's it. Let's see. Trying to think of... so if I had an axle, if this was an axle, that might be a good... because then I could put a Technic axle 3. Why does that not do that? Now, this solves the problem of this side spinning, but then I need to make something here that will rotate, but not like just flop around. Also, I think it may need to be a 4, because I think that needs to be a little longer. Give it more room to breathe in there. And then we'll make that black, because that's cheaper, right? Do I limit myself by pieces or certain dimensions? I try to keep the dimensions. I mean, I've got some big stuff like this is pretty big, right? It's bigger than your normal Microfighter. This is pretty big comparatively. I've got some that, like, I'm redoing my V19 Torrent because it's pretty big. I don't know if you saw this earlier. This was the ATTE. This is actually pretty big comparatively, but I mean, this is the ATDP, so I mean, it's not, you know, it's not too much bigger. I try to keep it to a minimum piece count and a maximum piece count. So if it's like, if I get done designing something and it's 50 pieces, I'm like, well, I'm going to greeble this, or I'm going to stabilize it by putting stuff underneath it. And if I get up above 110 pieces or 120 pieces, I'm kind of like, all right, where have I doubled up on like 1x2s that could be 2x2s, or, you know. So, I don't know. Really kind of depends on the build. Now I need something that will work for holding. This thing's gonna trip me up. Like, I'm just gonna be working on this all night. Because it may be something that I need to just like play with in real life before I do anything. Because it doesn't matter what I get, it's an axle. And that, you know, I'll put that on it, but in real life, that's just gonna plunk. Plus, I don't know if I need to be able to make it bend into that L shape too, or if I just leave it kind of, I don't know. Because it'd be easier if I didn't have to make it move, that's for sure. And that's not going to work. You know, I almost want to cheat on this. If I put a bar in there, it'll slide around. It's not a legal build at that point. But I could get something, and I'm not terribly concerned if it's a legal build or not. I've got some questionable stuff on some other models. But I could get something to kind of grip to that a little better. This might flop around a little bit on the backside, but it's small. At that size, it's not going to move a whole lot. All right, you know what? I'm going to think about it a little bit, and let's kind of attack the front a little. As much as we can attack this. There's almost nothing to this front end. And this might be one of these things where I make it 3 wide and make it hard on myself. Let's group that together. Let's do 3 wide. Let's see what happens. And this might help with this back end kind of thing later. No, he still needs to sit in there. Okay. Don't get too carried away. Of course, this all needs to be done in, I don't know what the original color of it is. I think it's not that. Oh, I really wish I remembered. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it was really hard to find like a good picture of this that wasn't like this racer color or. I think it's just kind of like got a silvery metal, and then I'll have to go back and look at the game. And again, try not to look at all the Lego versions of it. I also I saw a bunch of concept art for it, and it looked really cool. Maybe that's it, like this blue. That'd be pretty cool. Of course, I think that's a Lego ship again. Yeah. Yeah, there's some more concept art. Actually, that's a Mantis. That's a something 5 Mantis, I think. That's a good one. Yeah, so it's just this weird blue-gray. Let's do dark gray underneath and then like light gray on top with this kind of blue fin stuff. Yeah, that works. All right, so let's try that. So let's see, maybe. That's not what I wanted. These are not large either. Large. So maybe that is the original color. Alright. Well, let's try that. Let's do blue. Let's see how we do with blue. Blue is an oddly limiting color. Like you'd think a lot of stuff would be done in blue, but it's not as much as you think. I just had a sick idea. I think it's called ratchet. I think it's called. It's not click. See how big these things are. Sick, I tells you. What are those AT-AT knees called? I mean, they're still hinges, but they're got a lift arm on it, Technic lift arm. This guy, Technic rotation joint. You can stick a thing in there. It's both sides. Come on. Rotate. Looked good for a second. Now I'm just amusing myself. It's actually not a half bad idea, because then I could rotate this out. Huh. Wait. Still need that bar. I still want that. I am going to cheat on this. But then I'm going to do a 1x1 Technic. Half pin. Might only need to be a 3. Oh, wait a minute. This is going to be a problem, because that's going to be... That's fine. I can get away with that. Right? Yeah, sure. I'll just color stuff blue down there. Well, look at that. Sorted. Hmm. Now I need to put a little engine on the bottom of it. A couple of engines on the back. New fezzes come in. They come in dark gray. Nope, that's a tragedy. Because these guys do. Hmm. Now I think they're coming out with 1x1 tiles that have like these little grills in them. And that's what I would like to get in here. I think I've got some ordered from our lug bulk. Oh, isn't this adorable? Look at that little TIE Fighter top pattern. Look how cute that is. That's adorable. In the meantime, I don't have one, so let's just do that. Make it that color. Excuse me. There's going to be a lot of half pins in here because I'm going to have to make kind of a wing out of this. That actually would be 4 pins, so then we can do 1 by 2 times. Debbie Shepbricks! What's up, dude? I finished this game yesterday. Also, hi, how's it going? And also, 501st Battle Pack! So, yes. I finished it like a week after it came out because I was just ridiculously in love with getting it. And then I went back to Battlefront, and now I'm going back to it and trying to play it on Grandmaster to get through it on Grandmaster. And there's parts that I'm just like, well, I've played this 20 times. Just trying to beat this stupid bog lizard or whatever, so I'm still playing it. It's gonna take me a while. And that battle pack, yo, not a battle pack, right? It is. It's a battle pack, but I mean, it's not like a cute little $12, $15 battle pack that you can buy 40 of them and just have an army of 501st, right? You got to buy a ton of those giant, stupid ATRTs again. What are you gonna do, though? I mean, people are losing their minds over this thing. Which, you know, to be fair, Star Wars Lego fans have asked for this forever. So we're kind of like, yeah, please bring us some 501st action, and they finally did. All right, so. I'm going to need to dress this up a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I don't know if you kind of halfway, or you're kind of midway through. Yeah, it's about halfway through. This is a really weird connection, and I don't know if it's going to work. So I'm going to design it. And luckily, I've got some of these ratchet hinges, these click hinges, whatever they're called, Technic rotation joints with pinhole and 3L lift arm. Thick. That's some thick lift arm. And see if this will work. It's got a half pin in here, and then a bar stuck in the half pin, and then it's kind of cheating by having the bar stuffed into a cross axle Technic brick. So it's a little bit of a cheat, but we'll see. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. I got a new Xbox and Deluxe Edition. Fallen Order came with it. Fantastic. Played Fallen Order, and the end is the hardest. Yeah, it's. Did you? So you're done, right? You played it all the way through, because there's something I don't want to say if you haven't. Paul Mullet joining on Facebook. Hi, Paul. How are you? Thanks for coming by on this Thursday. I hope you're doing well. I know things are crazy right now. Actually, let's round this a little bit. No, I need to hold this. Let's do 1x3 plates. Day Boost, you're back. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate you being here. Day Boost, you're new. Where are you coming in from? Are you a Lego fan? Are you a Star Wars fan? Are you yes? Are you both? I don't want to make this too high because then it won't rotate. Let's do tiles, 1 by 1 tile. Feather Johnson on Facebook, how are you doing? Good to see you. Do these come in blue? They do not. Of course they do not. Oh, I don't like this, whatever it is. You played it all the way through. Okay, so the end, I'm going to ruin it for all 5 of these people who are in the chat right now. That end with Vader, just ridiculous. Like, I think I threw my controller down and was like gesturing, and I was just freaking out. It was so good. And then, of course, the best part of that whole thing with Vader is that it's like they know that he's a badass, right? They're not even going to try to make you fight him. They're not even going to try. They're just like, nope, just GTFO, because he's going to work you if you stay around. And your whole mission at that point is just to get away. I loved it. It was so good. I was freaking out. Beth had no idea what I was freaking out about. I'm like, it's freaking Vader. It's freaking Darth Vader. It was so good. Yeah, I'm kind of wishing there was Game Plus or DLC or something. I have a feeling they're going to do a sequel. And I have a feeling it's going to be like the hunt for new Jedi and stuff like that. And the crew will be back. It'll be Siri and Grease and everybody. Oh, so now that you're here, you can help me decide who gets to sit. Who's going to be the figure for this? Is it going to be Cal? Is it going to be Grease? I mean, Grease is the pilot. He owns the ship, but Cal's the main character. So what are you going to do? Yeah, I got freaked out too because I hear him breathe and then he cuts the second sister down, and I'm just like, what's happening? And then of course they're like, he's here, and I'm like, well, am I supposed to fight him? And then you try to do one thing and he basically crushes you, and you're like, okay, so now I should run, and my heart's just, it was crazy. Dayboost, both. You are a Lego and Star Wars fan. Well, you are in the right spot, my friend, because this is all I ever do. All right, so the reason I'm making this 3 wide is because it adds a little heft, but also it's got these prongs on the front. It's very distinctive to the ship. It's it's a very unique ship anyway, but it's a very distinctive part of the ship. So I figured if I did 3 wide, I could do that. If I did 2 wide, I'd have to find a special piece to do it. There's like fenders that you can use, but they're 4 wide, so I could get away with it doing that. So that's why I'm doing that. All right. So these are not being held together by anything right now, so I need to fix that. 2 by 3 or 3 by 3. Right. Oh, I know there's a 3 by 3 plate. If I can only type it. I was gonna say it didn't fit for a second. I'm like, no. And do these come in dark gray? They do. Look at my luck. I don't know what the underside of this looks like really. So feel free to make it up. Still need to figure out what to do with this. This might be too big, but let's throw it on there. Yeah, it's a little big. We'll come back to it. Maybe 1 by 4. God, I wish there was a better way to attach all this. So, you two gamer people, Deppy and I'm assuming Day Boost, you play as well. Are you guys going to get the redone, remastered I don't even know what it's called now. It's the Jedi Academy that came out. It's for the Switch, but I think you can get it on PlayStation too. I don't know if you can get it on Xbox or not. I thought about getting it, but I didn't get it in the first place, and I don't know if I like going back too much. That's not going to rotate well at all. Don't think I'm going to need that. Supposedly they're already working on the sequel. Yeah. That's cool, because it's a very good story, and I like the fact that it's a new story that, and I mean, Vader being in it, okay. But it's also like a new character that has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. He runs into Vader, great. But I don't want to know, like, that he's related to any of them at all. He's his own kind of person. He was just a kid. He got raised as a Padawan. Crap happened. Order 66. Now he's kind of like effed. He's got to figure his life out. That's great. That's perfect. There's a hero ship involved. There's a plucky crew. I'm super excited. I hope they do well with that. I'm waiting for the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. I don't know if that's ever going to happen or not. What does the top of this wing look like? They keep cutting off. No, it's just flat. I have to come back to his wings because I know I'm not happy with him, but we'll figure it out. And do we know what the exact front of this looks like? Like in between those bits. There we go. It's the cockpit, right? That's the cockpit. That's what I thought. So I'm going to need 1x1 stud. Gibbs Films Melbourne. Hey man, good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by on the other side of the planet, where it is tomorrow. Do you guys have the lottery numbers picked out yet? Yes, they have a 501st. I'm so glad they have made a 501st. I wish it was a battle pack. Like I was telling Deppy, I wish it was a battle pack, and I wish it didn't have a giant ATRT in it. There is a great, and look it up, there's a bunch of great ATRT sets that are not 5 times bigger than they should be. In fact, I'm making... the printing is a cross between animated and episode 3 movie. Yeah. I'm I want to get Betty's joining us. Jody Smith on Facebook. Hi guys, how's it going? I want to get so anyway, I was making a long-term model of a walker called an ATHE, which is a all-terrain heavy enforcer, which is one of these Legends ships, EU ships that never saw any kind of art or light of day or anything. That doesn't look good. Does that look better? Okay, so maybe we shorten that up. And it just looked menacing AF. And I did a design of it a month ago or so. And, well, no, longer than that. It's a 6-legged walker with, like, no head that moves. I think it's got a section that moves. But I started designing it. And knowing that walkers carry vehicles and troops, I started by designing the bay that would hold, like, BARC speeders and ATRTs, because technically it was a Clone Wars era walker before AT-ATs became a thing. It was supposed to be like a step away from. It was modded. It was a modded thing that you could get in like original Battlefront stuff. There's a video game image of it somewhere, and it just looks terrifying. And I'm like, I need that to be in my life. So, what was I talking about? Animated Phase 2 helmet had no brow trim, black in CW Clone Wars show. It was odd and bother why Dave Filoni didn't put the brow. Yeah, I don't like why some of them didn't have that, but I don't know if for those who haven't seen it, let's look at it. I mean, it hit the Lego news like a bolt. That's great, but this is like phase 3, phase 2. What's up, El Nabo on Mixer? Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. I would rather they have done this versus this, but not. And of course, now everybody's got to go buy all this because they need the ones with the visors. Anyway. Day Boost working on one. Well, you should get on it. Find out whatever your block is and push through. Do some yoga. Free yourself up a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, so I was doing the ATHE, and let me see if I can find this. And you see how big they are? They're just. Well, that's not an official one. These redone ones are really great. So I got like 6 of these. I found one that I really liked, and I can't remember where it is. I think it may be. I think it's this one. I really like these. See how they look like just little. They look like little motorcycles with legs. They're just these little things, right? They're not these giant things that Lego keeps wanting to put out. I don't know. I get it's a scaling thing and whatever. I had the old big 6-wheeled clone tank. Oh, the turbo tank? Yeah, that's a great set. The turbo tank's a great set. That's one of those that I never got and I kind of wanted to get. Or the Juggernaut. It was called a Juggernaut or a turbo tank or something like that. Anyway, so I'm doing the ATHE and I'm trying to do a bay of ATRTs and then a bay of BARC speeders, and I found like some really cool small BARC speeders and some small ATRTs, and it was just the ones that I found just are a lot nicer than these, and I'm kind of sad that they won't put those out, or why they keep making them so much bigger than they need to be. But I was also the one who, like, as soon as the Clone Wars had Republic Y-Wings, I built a Republic Y-Wing mock, which at a scale I thought was minifig scale. Hello. 1 second. You can just leave it there. Thank you very much. What is it? Oh, thank you. I just had a friend find. Yay! She didn't even text or anything. That's so nice. So I murdered a starter kit for some sourdough bread, and at request, There's turbo tank. And so the lady who brought me the first one brought some more over, so those are very nice. Long time ago, Google the turbo tank, please. And judging, Lego still uses 2013 helmet, no customization. Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing that. They've got so many clone figures, and it's not really in line with what we think it. And it's like, I don't know. It's all over the map. So what are we looking at, Nabo? The Lego set? I think this is it. No, that's just the toy. That is not. Yeah, that's just, these aren't Lego sets. That's it. Yep, that's the one. I mean, that ATRT is actually a pretty good size when you think about it. Will this do the hover? See, this is stupid, but that's a good size, right? And it was in this set from, 10 years ago or something. Anyway, that's a good set. I wish I had it, because it would have been good to get her. It would have been good to get Cad Bane. I actually got him in a speeder, smuggler, speeder, bounty hunter set. Anyway, yeah, this is a good one. They're hard to find now. Oh, come on, get in there. Yeah, that's better. All that just for that little bit of... I don't even know if I like that. Now I've lost my image. I was thinking about rumor set of Grievous Starfighter. Some people thought Phase 2 Cody is going to be in the set. Are they going to do another Grievous Starfighter? Huh. Clone and not, or a droid and not a clone trooper. I wonder if they're going to do another tactical droid. Because there was that one tactical droid, and I forget his name, that had like the gold swirly stuff, and he had the 3 eyes and kind of like almost like a beard. I don't think they ever made a figure of him. That would be a really good figure to have. And he was in a few of the episodes, so I mean, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Oh yeah, I was about that one. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. And this is just going to be... One by 3 slope inverted. Yeah, I knew this was a part. Of all the times to be able to use that part, should have been planning with that instead. That would have been great. I wonder. Because I've got a few of these, but they're like 13 cents a pop. The price is higher for where you live. See, I'm wondering if these come in. Yeah. Ooh, 25 cents a pop. So what I thought of doing is getting rid of these and just lining the whole underside with this. Whoops. Why Why will that not work? What's up, Glenn?
That's cool.
Oh, I meant for the fangs at the front, like a regular one. Oh, 1x3 instead of a 1x2? I don't know, that still looks pretty cool. I think it's going to be too much, though. It's changing the bulk of the ship. And I want to go back to having like a little leeway right here. So let's do 1x3 inverted. Does that stick out too much, do you think? The other thing is these 1x3 inverteds are hard to find sometimes. And I don't think they make them in that... Oh, they do. Okay. Fair enough. 6 cents. They must have made a ton of those. That's not too bad, right? Thanks for the tip, yo. And that's gonna be my favorite piece. This is my new favorite piece. I mean, it's been out for a while, but it's still my new favorite piece. Finally made my way here. What you mocking? We are mocking the Stinger Mantis from Jedi Fallen Order. The sides stick out a bit more than the glass. Do they? Yeah, I'm going to have them go over the front a little bit, over the top. But I was worried about the bottom. These are actually kind of glass right here, too. I just don't like this little thing, but I don't know if I can... I think I can deal. And then I'll put a nice little 2x2 inverted boat bottom thing here. Hold those two together. Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Can I do... Tile? Yes. My luck. Let me show you it. Slide it back a little bit. There we go. Glenn, you are going to love this. I want to show you the internal workings of this. So this is another one of these ships that the whole wing rotates. Don't look at the Lego version. Don't look at the Lego version. Right? It's straight, but then when it lands, it L's up, and like landing gear comes out of the bottom of it. It's really overly complicated. But in order to get that, I've got big old cheats. So here's your big old Technic hinge, right? That'll click. Here's a pin into, you know, I just realized that's going to be really wobbly too. This may not work out as well as I thought. Anyway, I'm going to play with this in real life and we'll see what happens. So a bar into a half pin, which I've seen in some other stuff. And then this is a Technic, axle brick. So it doesn't move, right? So this should, actually, now that I think about it, that's going to be really wobbly because there's nothing holding that bar in place. Oh, no. There it is. Nope, not enough. It's got to be a pin. All right, well, I'm going to play with it and see what I can come up with. I'm sure I can make that work, but that's so the wing can move, but also if I wanted to land it, it can also bend. We'll see how it looks. And what was I doing? It's a very cool ship in the game. I like it. It's got way too many moving parts, and it doesn't need to have them. But it's a nice ship in the game. It serves its purpose. The interior is a little kind of like iffy in that. Oh wait, I should do that. Yeah, let's do that. There's a lot of weird uses of space internally. Oh no, wait, I'm going to do it back here. But it serves its purpose. Nope. I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me when I pictured it as a yacht. Yeah, so this is like a heavily customized yacht. It's like the Lando Calrissian also has a ship that's a yacht. The Lady Luck is a yacht. And it's, I mean, he doesn't use it for, it's not like it's being used for anything else than being a yacht. So I want to put, but it's one of those where he, you can tell he bought it and then extensively modified it. I think there's some stuff up top, so let's do a yeah, that's coming together. It's not bad. This is a little dodgy in here. Try to figure out a better way to do that, but buildable figures were kind of wasted through the Scout Troopers. 2019 helmet is based off buildable figure Scout Trooper helmet, but in a small scale. So, Kilps Films, there's a project that I want to do with buildable figures. I don't know how old you are, and I don't know if you remember this cartoon called Centurions. But there was this cartoon called Centurions, and if you haven't seen it, look it up because it's kind of weird. But it's these 3 guys, and later expanded to 6 guys. And they had these, the tagline was Power Extreme, and they had these suits on with these plugs in them, right, with these holes in them. And what they would do is they would get sent down, they would kind of live on Earth, I think, if I remember correctly. And then there was this space station where this lady worked and lived in this space station, and she would send down all the armament that they needed for whatever mission, and the armament would kind of materialize around them and kind of plug into their suit. It was a very complex system of getting stuff on, but it was super cool. And so these suits, they were interchangeable. So like they're done with that mission, they could beam up the stuff they weren't using anymore and beam down new stuff. So there was at first there was a land and a sea and a air trooper, right? And the air guy had like rocket boosters, and he would fire missiles, and he had helmets that would like basically allow him to breathe in air and space. And then the ground guy usually had something to do with wheels or treads, and he had like a lot of artillery and things. And then the sea guy was a lot of torpedoes and propellers and stuff. And everything had like a light version, a medium version, and a heavy version. So depending on the enemy at the time or the opposition at the time, they would, this is reconnaissance, this is, full on siege or something like that. And of course, then the bad guys were all kind of like the same thing, but they had kind of like robotic implants. Like one guy had a giant robot arm, and the other guy's got like a mechanical cowl on his face, and they were the bad guys because they looked evil, but they were basically the same thing. And it's basically them fighting each other. But I thought it'd be cool to take the buildable. Yeah, I'll get a link for you. I always thought that it would be really cool to in the near future. And I thought it'd be really cool for the buildable figures because they basically are like the Technic bits where you've got holes in them, and you could have just a dude's face and a solid color of all the suits, basically with like real hands on the end or something, and then have all these buildable bits that you put on them, and then they're sort of like, instead of just more like models where you get them and you kind of pose them, like the buildable figures are now, they could be a little more action oriented, where you could actually, you get the 3 bad guys and the 3 good guys, and you kind of, something shoots a missile, and then they do this, and then they get a new bit. And anyway, I thought that would be pretty cool, but I haven't broke down and like. It's hard to design them because there's not a lot of buildable figure stuff in studio, so I have to like look for the parts and whatnot. So, I wish I could make this more wing-like back here, but I'm afraid if I make it too big, it won't rotate properly around that area. And if this is too big, maybe. Sounds very OMD like. Yeah, as soon as I put that on, it's going to rotate right into this thing. So maybe get rid of that and do a... Yeah, I'm getting a very heavy OMD vibe off this one. And then maybe do that 1x6 tile. The problem is, this is not going to stay. I can already tell 2 things. It's not going to stay. And now I've offset it, so I don't know how I'm going to get it to... This is going to take some work to figure that wing out. Now, what do you think? Is that wing too big at that point? Or is that tall? Oh! Totally forgot that down here needs like a thruster and intake and stuff. This should be pretty easy to do. I'm going to do a Technic pin axle. Maybe one of those. These guys. Do they come in black? No, they don't. Even better. Dark gray. How much are those? 8 cents. Okay. Yeah, it is. I mean, if you look at the actual ship, I'm trying to get a good non-Lego version that shows the whole. That's a pretty good shot of it. I mean, it is a very long wing. It's really weird. I like it. I think it's a cool ship. It does have issues. Oh, here's another good shot. Yeah, you can see how tall that wing is. It does have its drawbacks and its issues, but that does have a Technic in it, right? Yeah. How far did that go in? About that far. All right, good enough. Pin holder? Are they called pin holders? What are those? It's not a bushing. What are those Technic things that are basically they will fit onto a pin, but they're only like they're very small. They would only be like a one length kind of thing, and it's just the cylinder. It's just like this part. Connector. Because I think they're technically still called a connector, even though it's probably only, yeah. What color can I get those in, Chief? Brilliant. And I can even draw it out a little. Totally cheat again and do another bar 3L. I don't know how far this would go in. I guess only as far as the axle, huh? Yeah, alright. Because it needs another, but, oh goodness, it's almost time. Maybe there's a, yeah, it might be a little big, but this way, and what color can we get this in? Brilliant. Do that, and I can get another one of these on here. That's a little big, but I might be able to cheat with this smaller one if it didn't get put all the way on there. Like it doesn't have to snap all the way on there, but it keeps wanting to. It's a bit of a cheat. That needs to be in blue. Yeah, this is going to have to be put up here like this. I'm just going to have to play with this whole construction and see. Because as soon as this turns, it's going to run into this. So I can't put anything there. I can't put anything here. And probably not even on any of this side. That has to be pretty small. Well, not bad. Not bad for a first attempt. And I got it done in an hour and a half. Even with all the other nonsense I was talking about. It wasn't nonsense. You people are not nonsense. 1x1 lift arm. Yes. So there it is, folks. That's the, okay, so in the comments later, if you would, or even if you think about it, on Instagram, come find me on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, and let me know who you think should pilot this. Should it be Cal? Should it be Grease? It's his ship. Or should it be the hero of the game? And if you have any ideas for that got to keep the hull stable, but have a rotating wing mechanic. Drop me a line and let me know what you think. I don't think I'm going to have any more parts to build by Sunday, but I'll be here on Sunday, and I'll just pick a different ship to work on. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Glenn. Thanks for coming by Clips Films and Day Boost. Good having you here on YouTube. And Deppy, good to see you. And Josh, all the people who are normally here. I appreciate you guys coming by. And I hope you guys stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't cough in anybody's face. Do not go out if you don't have to. Get some delivery. Get some stuff sent to you. Just be safe out there, man. And I hope everybody does well with everything. So this is me signing off. You guys have a good night.